Intention was one way to make your studying into a spiritual practice. Another way is called lectio divina. It's an ancient Christian way of reading, and it can be used not just with scripture, but with the things that you have to read for your ILF courses as well. The classic version of Lectio Divina is applied to scripture texts. Lectio Divina, Latin, divine reading, and it's a kind of slow reading. The classic practice has you read a text aloud, pause, read the text aloud again, and then dwell with it for a while. Look at it and let a particular phrase, or maybe even a single word, capture your attention. And the practice invites you then to ponder, like Mary pondered all these things in her heart, to ponder that text and to kind of look at it from different perspectives and to wonder about it. And then perhaps even to sit quietly and see if anything comes to mind that surprises you or is different from the way you've always heard that text before. Is there a way that it's speaking to you in this moment, on this day that you're reading it? And then in the classic version, you pause at the end and give thanks for whatever you have seen or heard. And if you haven't seen anything surprising, to give thanks for the way in which the text will continue to dwell with you and work in you, and for the insight that may yet come in the future. You can do a similar kind of thing. I'm not going to ask you to read your texts for class twice, for heaven's sakes. But you can do a similar kind of thing with your course readings by pausing as you begin to set intention. But the specific intention in Lectio would be to see if there's a word or a phrase that particularly stands out to you that invites you to come back to it. So you're reading along and you're doing the kind of critical reading, thoughtful reading that your faculty invite you to do. So you're thinking about the context and you're thinking about what the author is saying and how the author is saying it. And you're thinking about what the author isn't saying and who the author seems to assume the audience for the reading is, and whether or not you fit as part of that audience and how that changes how you see the reading and the concepts. You're going to do all of that kind of reading. And while you're doing that, you're also going to just watch for a word or a phrase that invites itself to dwell with you longer. And all you're going to do while you're doing your classroom reading is say, oh, maybe this is the one, and maybe you take your pencil or your highlighter in your device and you highlight the word. Or maybe you pause long enough to write the word or the phrase inside the front cover or on the top of the first page of your photocopy. And that's all you do. And then you go back to doing the reading your faculty expect you to do. But at the end, in this form of lectio on your text, at the end, then return to that word or phrase, or if there are a couple of them, return to all of them and sit with them for just a moment and choose one that you're going to let live with you for a little while longer. And just repeat that phrase to yourself, hold it, ponder why it's the thing that's stuck with you, Ponder whether it's a nudge of some kind, and carry it with you in the hip pocket of your mind for the rest of the day. And then perhaps if you remember, at the end of the day, come back to that word and notice whether or not it illuminated the day in some way. That's all the practice is. But it gives your course texts a chance to speak to you at more than one level, and gives you practice in listening and watching for nudges that might come to you from the source of the universe, day by day. Will you give it a try? Why not tonight with the reading for this week?